Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been watching Last Dance and the Jordan documentary. I heard it's very good. And I saw a post and I also saw a little clip of Michael Jordan saying like what his favorite shoes are in his line. So in the clip, I obviously can't show it because of copyright, but he says, alright, so I can't really tell you what my favorite Jordans are or what my favorite shoes are in my line because they're like your kids and whatnot. You're like, okay, yeah, I kind of understand that. But then right after that, he's like, but the 11s are my favorite. So I'm like, okay, he definitely knows what he likes, you know? So he says 11s are my favorite, 3s are his next favorite, and then probably the 12 or the 13 comes in third. And I was like, okay. And I'm not really sure what he means. Like, is he talking about performance or aesthetics or overall, like his favorite? I'm not really sure. But I'm guessing probably overall, right? So I wanted to do my own list of my top favorite Jordans aesthetically and performance-wise. And if you guys want to leave your own list, tell us what they are down in the comment section below. And let's get started off with my top 3 for aesthetics. And in my opinion, the 12 is a great looking shoe. So this is my number 3 for aesthetics. It's okay for ball, right? Like look, you guys see how stiff this is? Like there's I don't know why it's so stiff. There is a carbon fiber midfoot chain plate. I'm not sure how like long it is. Maybe like it's too long. Maybe that's why it doesn't bend. I don't know, but then you can't bend it here. There's not a lot of forefoot flex. It's pretty flat. I mean, there's a little bit of a curve, and then look at this 90-degree angle. So there's no compression in the heel from the midsole, so it's like it's very clunky, very boot-like. So I hate that. Like, I'm not really a huge fan of that. But there is a full-length zoom unit, which makes it pretty comfortable when you're just like casually walking around and also kind of playing in it. But yeah, aesthetically, I really like these. Also, I have the 12 lows, and I would much rather play in the lows than the highs. But still not a huge fan of them performance-wise. So there is the 12 there. My number 2 is the 3. At first, I didn't really like it too much, but it definitely grew on me. And playing in it, of course, not very nice. You know, the traction is okay, not the best. The cushion, of course, is a very stiff foam with this air unit that really doesn't do anything. And then the materials, not a huge fan of leather. I would much rather have like a mesh or a textile or a knit. But don't get me wrong, like if leather is buttery smooth, then the material is super nice, but that's usually not the case. They like to cut back on costs and stuff like that. So they try to use like cheaper materials. And for older shoes, like the fit wasn't very good for me. Like it's wide, there's a lot of toe space, you know? So I don't really like playing the 3s all too much, but aesthetically, it's a really good looking shoe. And then my number 1 is the 1. And this is definitely my favorite Jordan aesthetically. Don't like to casually walk around in them as much or play in them because of the cushion. The cushion is literally, it's just rubber, right? The traction is insane though, it's godly, but the cushion is not very nice. That's why I really like the Jordan 1 with the full-length zoom strobel. This is purely for aesthetics for me. So there is that. So that's my top 3 for aesthetics. Alright, moving on to performance. I got a top 5 list for you guys. So let's get it started off with my number 5, which is the Jordan 14. And the traction is incredible. You have a full-on herringbone with like a little pivot point here. The cushion is not that bad. It's slightly soft. Definitely not the best, but like, look at that. That's very nice. It definitely doesn't feel as bad as like the 12s or like the older shoes. I mean, the 3, I guess, has a little bit of flex. But yeah, so this shoe is pretty damn nice, and I would say one of the top performers in his line. Moving on to my number 4 is the 11. Right over here. Of course, I prefer playing in the lows than the highs, but you know, they're both very nice. Yeah, I've played in this low a lot. It's pretty damn dirty, right? So the traction is godly. It's top tier. It's so good. It's one of the best in his line that I've played or I've tried. It's super hard stock. The dust doesn't really matter. It just bites the court no matter what the condition of the court is. The cushion is not that bad. You know, this foam, there's a little bit of compression. And then there is a full-length air unit, which I can't really feel very well. You can feel it, but not like very prominent, like in the PG4 with the full-length air strobel unit. But it's still not bad. You know, I would definitely prefer it over the 1s, right? And then one thing that I don't really like about the shoe is the materials. Though the materials are very thick, not very soft. You know, like the 14 is a lot softer. Like it conforms to your foot a lot better. It's thinner in the 14. But other than that, incredible performer. Pretty good looking shoe too, in my opinion. I really like the patent leather, right? And I would say these shoes are like very high on most people's lists, right? So there's 11 there. My next shoe is the 28. The only thing that I didn't really like about the 28 is the midfoot chain plate. I would even say I might like the 11 a little bit better than the 28. I don't really know. They're both pretty damn nice. The traction is really good in the 28. You have a segmented unlock zoom unit in the 4 with a very large volume zoom unit. I didn't really like the heel and the decoupling. Like the decoupling, it's just like, you know, when I would play in it, I felt it like kind of collapse on itself, right? Right here in the midfoot. And if you look, the 0.3, you know, you would be like, okay, that's a pretty big decoupling, right? But then compare it to the 28 and it's like twice as big in the 28. So not a huge fan of that. The materials, you have like a textile material, kind of reminds me of like a textile kind of like canvas material, but it's very thin, super supportive, but it conforms to your foot very well. You have an oversized tongue, which I love, and the fit was very nice compared to like the older Jordans. So I really like the 28s. My number 2 is the Jordan 34. You know, I wasn't a huge fan of the 31 to 32 and the 33, you know, but the 34, they shed off a lot of weight from those shoes, and the traction, full on herringbone, very nice traction. Cushion is also pretty damn nice. Not a huge fan of how not flexible it is, you know. It feels a little bit like, I wouldn't say clunky, but just not as smooth, you know, just not as fluid as, I guess, like, I don't know, the 14s or something, right? And like the heel cushion isn't incredible. Like something that Jordan really never does in his shoes is have a nice heel compression. You know, like he just likes a 4-foot unit. I don't know why. Which, you know, it's not bad, but I like to have a little bit of heel compression, you know? I mean, there is a zoom in the heel, but it's you know, it's not bad, right? And really doesn't do anything with the compression of the midsole. The 4-foot zoom unit is very nice, and the materials are very thin, you know, and you have support where you need it for lateral support and all that. So I really like the highs, also the lows are, but you know, the mid is basically a low. It really doesn't do anything for ankle support. So there's my number 2. My number 1 is going to be the 13, and I only have the 13 lows. I've never had a pair of 13 highs, which I've had the opportunity to get some at the outlets, but like it was like full price and I didn't really want to do it. But the 13 lows, this shoe is incredible. This is definitely my favorite performer in his entire line. Not a good looking shoe though, in my opinion. I really don't like how the 13s look, especially with this like weird looking midsole to me. You know, a lot of people like the 13s, how they look, but not really for me. But the traction, other than the 11, like these two shoes in his entire line have like the best traction. The traction is incredible. The cushion is also really nice. Like the foam isn't very nice, and like, you know, it's pretty caged because of the rubber coming up, but there is a 4-foot and heel zoom unit which feels very nice. You know, feels very similar to like the PG3. You know, I'm not sure if it's like the same size unit, but you can definitely feel the bounce from the zoom unit. The material also isn't that bad. The leather material in the toe is pretty thin, conforms to your foot pretty well. It's not clunky feeling. It doesn't feel like a boot or anything. You know, there's a little bit of flex here in the 4-foot. So the 13 is super duper nice to play in. So that's my list for performance and aesthetics. Again, tell us what your list would be down in the comment section below. Of course, it's just my personal opinion. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.